It's goal setting season. Everyone's setting their goals and New Year's resolutions for 2024. Some are smaller, more achievable goals, some a little bit loftier, but I found that a lot of people set their goals for the coming year without ever reviewing the goals that they set last year. What's the point in setting goals if you don't even track them? In today's video, I'm going to do both. What is happening, folks? My name is Robbie, and today I'm going to be reviewing my goals from 2023 and, more importantly, setting my goals for 2024. In my opinion, setting goals and targets is crucial for success. Personal goals, financial targets, health and fitness. You should be setting goals and tracking them, because what's the point in having an end goal if you don't know how close you are to it? As you all probably know by now, I'm a big advocate for transparency with my investments, with my finances for the most part, with goals and targets as well. I made a video this time last year for 2023, and again, I'll be transparent, I only achieved one of my many targets for 2024, and the one that I achieved wasn't even included in the video last year. But nonetheless, I think it's good to tell people your goals and targets so there's a degree of accountability to them. It's a little bit easier to strive for certain goals and targets if you know that other people know what they are. If you tell everyone you know, I'm going to make 100 grand this year, there's a little thing in the back of your mind telling you need to make 100 grand this year because you told everyone and their gran that you were going to do that. So let's have a quick look at my goals for 2023 and how I did or didn't achieve them. I didn't achieve any of them from that video. So with my 2023 goals, I actually set the end to be March 2024, so I've not actually got to the end of last year's targets. Reason for that is I turned 30 in March, and I basically set my targets for turning 30 as opposed to just January to January. But I think it's time to set some new goals because I never achieved the ones from last year anyway, so I'd like to make more achievable, sensible goals. Goal number 1 last year was the main one, and this was my total assets goal. By age 30, I wanted to have £1 million in assets. Now that's gross assets. So a total of £1 million across property, stocks, crypto, cash, whatever items I own that are of value to total £1 million. And that doesn't take into account mortgages, for example, because we're talking gross. So if I have a property worth £100,000 and a mortgage of £70,000 for this target, that's still £100,000 closer to the target. Don't worry though, I do have a net worth goal as well, which would only be 30, which is the equity in that property. So did I make it to £1 million before I turned 30? No, I didn't. In my last video, and in various TikToks, Instagram posts, and conversations with people, I've said that when I get to £1 million in assets, I'm going to buy myself a new car, and I'm not going to buy myself a new one until that point. And I'm still driving my Mercedes C200, so there's your answer. I did add about £80,000 to my gross assets last year, but that wasn't enough to get me to £1 million, so I have to stick with the C200 for another year and keep pushing on for that million. Goal number 2 was similar, but a net worth target. I wanted to add £125,000 to my net worth last year. I didn't. However, I did add around £85,000 to my net worth, so it's not a loss. It's another box unticked for 2023, but can you really complain about your net worth going up by £85,000? No, not really, I don't think. This one's a good one. I wanted to reach 100,000 followers on TikTok. I started the year on around 55,000, and I ended the year on 53,500. I lost about 100 followers a month for a full year. So not only is that target missed, I'm actually further away from it than I started at the beginning of the year. 4,000 subscribers on YouTube was also a target. That would mean gaining 2,605 new subscribers in 2023. I gained 255. I gained 255 new subscribers. That's not even one new subscriber per day. That is actually the worst year I've had on YouTube since I started YouTube in, I think, 2021. Now, what are the reasons for me only gaining 255 subscribers in a whole year? Well, I had a look, and I only uploaded 19 new videos in a whole year. Really, I should have uploaded 52. I uploaded 19, which is just over 1.5 per month. In all honesty, my year did take a bit of a turn. At the beginning of the year, I was in hospital, had a bit of a health scare, and that took me all the way up to April. And from April onwards, I actually started a new career / business in a new industry. Very busy year, very eventful year. YouTube essentially fell by the wayside, to be honest. This year, I hope to change that, and I will touch on that later. Another social media related target was 1,000 subscribers on my podcast on YouTube. I posted one single podcast episode last year. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. If I didn't have the time to post enough on YouTube, I certainly didn't have enough time to arrange podcast episodes with guests in a studio. Podcast has been taken off the list for the time being. As much as I'd love to have a podcast, and I think I would really enjoy it, and I think it would probably do quite well, finding the time to do it is just proving too difficult. I'm in the process of planning a wedding. Again, I've started essentially a new business in July last year as well. I've got too many things to focus on than adding another thing that I need to try and squeeze into an already tight schedule. On the same vein as the last two, another target was to be monetized on YouTube. To do this, you need to achieve 4,000 hours of watch time on your videos in a 12-month period. That essentially means that if you make one 10-minute long video, you need 24,000 people to watch it from the very first second to the very last. That would accumulate 4,000 hours total. Obviously I didn't manage that because I only posted 19 videos. This video is a real knock to the ego, admitting many shortcomings last year. The final goal for 2023 in my video was to add 4 new investment properties to my portfolio. I didn't manage this one either. How many do you think I added to the portfolio? 3? No. 2? No. I bought 0. Now, my main reason for this was actually the last target for 2023 that I didn't include in last year's video, and that was to get a job in finance. Over the past couple of years, I started to become less and less interested in packaging and the spirits industry as a whole, and I became a lot more interested in finance, be that personal finance, property, investing. I started to make YouTube videos about finance. I'm always reading books about finance, listening to podcasts. I invest my own money, obviously. So I decided that I wanted to move into that industry. But I didn't want to post that in my last targets video last year because it may have had implications on my previous business. So I kept it quiet. But I achieved it. A decent chunk of my 2023 was spent studying to gain qualifications to become a finance broker. I got that qualification and started as a finance broker in July, and at that point I then had to learn the business processes, the ins and outs of that industry, finding clients, meeting with lenders, and doing all the various things that come with essentially starting a new self-employed business. It's been a steep learning curve, but I've enjoyed it. I've met a lot of interesting people. The business is starting to pick up some steam now. It's been a lot, but I've enjoyed it, and I achieved one of my main goals for 2023, which was getting a job in finance. So all in all, I did only tick one box for 2023, but I did also increase my net worth by around £85,000, and I added around £80,000 of assets to my gross assets target. So I'd still call that a successful year. Now that we've covered all my shortcomings for 2023, it's time to discuss my goals for 2024. I'll get through these pretty quickly here. Number 1, I want to make £60,000 in sales as a finance broker. Now, I'm still in my first year of business as a broker, so I'm putting a lot of work into this business, trying to grow it, find new clients, give the current clients a good service, and I'm hoping to see the results of that in 2024. Number 2, I want to add 1 buy-to-let to my portfolio. Initially I thought 2, but I'm taking a step back from that. I want to add 1 single property to my portfolio this year. Not 4, not 10, 1. In addition to this, I'd like to add £80,000 to my net worth and £150,000 to my gross assets. Now these two could still be a stretch, to be completely honest. I get married in 6 weeks, and honestly, I am seeing cash pour out of my bank account every week at a seriously alarming rate. But I still think this will be doable. I just need to work very hard. My 2 YouTube targets for this year go hand in hand. I want to post 1 video per week going forward from now, and I want to get to 4,000 subscribers. That's 2,350 new subscribers this year, about 200 per month. I think making sure that I post 1 video per week should get me there. Obviously that relies on making good videos, making good thumbnails, bringing some sort of value to people who watch the videos, but I think I can get there. And my final goal for the year is another social media based goal. I'd like to get to 75,000 followers on TikTok. Now, it's not high on the priority list. Honestly, every time I post on TikTok I lose about 5 followers, but I enjoy TikTok, I enjoy watching it, I enjoy making TikToks and just sort of chatting in the comments and things like that. And it's also quite good for business alongside YouTube and Instagram. It's quite good for brand awareness, people knowing who I am, what I do, what I talk about. With YouTube I can make the sort of longer form videos to talk about finance and investing and things like that. With TikTok I can sort of just spout the ideas that are in my head and just talk. And that seems to be beneficial for my business. I've had a few clients come to me through Instagram, TikTok and YouTube. So there's sort of 2 reasons for me to make these goals. Making these videos is enjoyable, making the TikTok videos is enjoyable. It's a good little hobby on the side as well, but it can also generate a little bit of business for me too. With that being said, if you've got this far in the video, thanks. For starters, this is my quick opportunity to plug myself. I'm a finance broker. I help property investors and small business owners source funding for property and small businesses, really. Invoice finance, asset finance, buy-to-let mortgages, bridging finance, commercial mortgages, all of those sort of financial products. I can assist with that. That is what I do for a living now, and that is my focus for 2024 and every year going forward, I would imagine. So that is the recap for 2023 and my goals for 2024. As I mentioned earlier, I've intentionally set them at more reasonable and achievable levels because there is no point in setting targets that are too far out of reach because you stop trying to get to them, or you don't get close enough and it sort of discourages you, as we've seen from last year, evidently. Be sure to leave me a comment, let me know what your goals and targets are for 2024. I'd like to have a little read through them. We can look back on them in a year and see if anyone's achieved their goals alongside mine. Thank you for watching as always, folks. See you next week.